This is pretty funny. They're trying to get up, but they're starting to hear about this infrastructure bill, and they're trying to forget their talking points in line. Here's Will Cain and Charles Payne on Fox News. Will Cain doesn't believe any of this stuff. That's what's sort of amazing about it. I remember that dude from 15 years ago, 10 years ago on CNN. And
the paycheck now.
Yeah.
Maybe a little fatter, so you got to change your view on the world.
Apparently. And this is just, here is these two guys lamenting the elitism involved in riding a bike versus driving a car.
But again, here's what Buttigieg is saying. He's saying some of them, sexy in the policy world, roads need to go on a diet. That's just some of his quotes. And here's what he had to say, a quick flashback when it comes to infrastructure, our new transportation secretary. Listen to this, Charles.
I think it's very important that we recognize the importance of roadways where pedestrians, bicycles, vehicles, and any other mode can coexist peacefully.
Oh, coexist peacefully, Charles. That's a lot of happy talk for what I don't know this infrastructure package might look like as a part of this $3 trillion in spending.
Yeah, it's goofy, happy talk. If the roads aren't going to be a lot thinner the way they're going because no one will have a job. But, imagine being in one of these sexy roads with 2 lanes and the bicycle lane is empty and you're 30 minutes late for work, all because we've reserved this for the elitists who know how to do things right and somehow can afford to ride their bike while everybody else is going to work. It's just, it's not sexy at all unless you, believe in this utopian world that Pete Buttigieg believes in. By the way, let's check the track record in South Bend, where they had the most potholes of any city in the state. Let's work on the potholes first before we start talking about sexy.
Tell that to the Uber Eats driver in Manhattan who has to dodge all these cars in order to deliver your sushi, Charles Payne, for the night. And he gets a $3 tip at the end of it. That is a
Where do they think they're going to go with this whole bike lane is elitist thing? I mean, do they not understand that a bike costs a fraction of a car? Or is this really just like an urban rural type of
That's what I think it is. This is urban versus suburban, not even rural, suburban. First, they're going to come for your lanes, then they're going to come for your gas vehicles. I mean, remember the clip where there was the town that wanted to have all, the stations, the charging stations. Oh my God, it was an attack on the gas industry. It was an attack on your big trucks.
Well, I mean, electric cars, in at least in terms of outright, the cash you lay out, generally are a little bit more expensive than they're right now, anyways, than their gas counterpart. But a bike is not more expensive than a car.
Well, I don't know what liberal town you're from, but
where you can afford to ride your bike.
But they are also.
But that is definitely that is a suburban rural versus
and even more shallowly, no one when they're driving a car likes to deal with bikers that are kind of near them, and there's this if people are biking for exercise, there's kind of this colloquial, they're so annoying, right? That's basically what they're hitting on.
It's also classist. I mean, if he's like, well, why aren't we focusing on the potholes? Because we have trucks and we're like real Americans. Why are we focusing on expanding the rights of bicyclists, AKA immigrants, AKA people who cannot afford a car or people who don't want to be in a car or whatever? I mean, AKA cities. Why are we focusing on that and not on the great highways in Oklahoma?
Well, then I'm sure Charles Payne and Will Cain are in favor of Biden's $3 trillion infrastructure bill. We're done.
End of story,
there
ladies and
we go.
gentlemen.
Good.